Today on Dr. Phil, teenage binge drinking.
You say, I don't see the point in drinking if I'm not getting drunk.
Correct.
You get blackout drunk 4 days a week.
It's not completely blackout drunk.
They say they don't have a problem.
I can still stop at any time.
You can't stop.
But are they partying to death?
He's wrecked 2 cars and he's been to the hospital 17 times for alcohol poisoning. Take a look. That's your son's future. Let's do it. If we're going to do something here that matters, then we got to deal with the truth.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. Fraternities, sororities, parties. This is an all too familiar scene all over college campuses. It looks fun, doesn't it? But all this partying can come at a very high price as more and more underage college kids are making headlines for drinking themselves to death. Now, parents, hear me. Maybe you don't watch every Dr. Phil show, but I'm going to tell you this is one that you want to watch. If you have a child in middle school or high school, watching today's show could save their lives or someone else's. This is one of those shows you need to record because what we're talking about is not something that just happens to someone else's child. It could happen to yours. Last year alone, 1,825 college students between the ages of 18 and 24 died from alcohol-related injuries. Take a look.
Death of a student. Alcohol was found in his system. Has been found dead. Unresponsive. Dead. Dies while on spring break.
Officials are investigating the death of a student on the University of Pennsylvania campus. That student tumbled 30 feet inside a campus fraternity house.
Police say alcohol was being consumed at the party.
The Boston College student has been found dead. Grant disappeared after a house party on Saturday night.
UAPD says they received a medical assistance call at the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity. They found an unresponsive male dead at the scene.
Victoria Chung was found dead in the snow near her Ithaca College apartment in February. Just a day earlier, police found 19-year-old George Destoons unconscious in the library of a Cornell University fraternity. Police say alcohol appears to be a factor in both deaths.
A fraternity member at Georgia Southern University, Philip Christian, dies while on spring break. A mixture of oxycodone, cocaine, and alcohol was found in his system.
That last news story was about Philip, whose family is here with us today. They say Philip was enjoying his last spring break before graduation by partying with some of his fraternity brothers in Florida. But what started out as a night of drinking and fun turned to tragedy.
The day that we received the call that my son had died, it was the absolute worst day of my life. My son Philip was on spring break.
Philip went with his fraternity brothers. He was to graduate in December.
He went down there on a Saturday. The following day, Sunday morning, we received a phone call that he had OD'd.
Philip died from alcohol, cocaine, and Oxycontin.
Philip thought he was invincible. Philip worked hard and played harder.
I don't think Philip was aware that what he was doing could kill him.
Paul and I thought we had taught him better.
When I saw Philip's body for the first time was reality. You can't deny that's his body laying on that bed, cold.
It's inconceivable to me that 50 of his fraternity brothers would let him lay down and die. Philip was a grown man. He's responsible for his own actions, but I'll never forgive him for not paying attention and allowing him to die.
Philip's not here for the holidays, and that's obviously weighed heavy on everybody's mind.
We'll do the best we can and hopefully remember him in stories and jokes.
It was a 100% preventable death, and that was completely unnecessary.
When you lose a child, it's the absolute hardest thing in the world.
A horrific tragedy with a fine young man that could have been prevented. We're going to talk to 2 families today where we're trying to prevent what happened in your family. And I know this has been terrible. I'm going to ask you to help me help some of these families today. I'm going to deal with 2 college dropouts who partied themselves senseless. There's no other way to say it. Victoria brags that she can down 10 to 15 shots of hard liquor in just 2 hours. Now, her mom, Shannon, says that's a slow night for her daughter. Take a look.
At 18, Victoria enrolled at University of Colorado and started partying a lot there.
I started drinking pretty heavily. I was missing a lot of classes. I have a really high tolerance for liquor. I can take 15 to 20 shots and still be okay.
I couldn't do a quarter of what she does and still be alive. You have a drinking problem, right?
No, I don't. My drink of choice would be vodka just because it's the cheapest. I drink about 750 milliliter of vodka a night. I would have memory blackouts 5 to 6 times a week. Recently, I woke up in my bathroom. I don't remember any part of it.
Tori, I've gotten a million calls saying I want to stop drinking. I'm an alcoholic. I need help.
One night when I was blackout drunk, I ended up falling down. I got back up to hear a girl call me a stupid bitch. I knocked her in the face. 3 squad cars ended up pulling up, and I got a minor in possession of alcohol.
I found out Victoria was pregnant 2 days ago.
I was very shocked when I found out I was pregnant.
You told us that you took a test and you found out you were pregnant and you were really drunk.
The night that I thought I was pregnant, I went out and I had a couple beers and I had a couple shots of tequila.
I don't know what to do for her because I know she's addicted to alcohol.
I am not an addict.
Okay, tell me why y'all wanted to be here. I assume you want to be here, you agreed to be here.
Right.
Because you don't want to be here because you don't have a problem, right?
Right.
Your mother has the problem.
Right.
And what is her problem?
She thinks I'm an alcoholic.
Okay, she thinks you're an alcoholic. And so she's meddling in your life?
Nagging, mostly.
Nagging? Not treating you like the adult you are.
Exactly.
Okay. And are you just overreacting to this?
Not overreacting at all.
Why not?
Because she's an alcoholic.
Why do you say you don't have a problem?
I don't wake up needing to drink. I can go a few days without drinking. I don't have a problem going to sleep. I don't have nightmares like some of my friends do from not drinking. So it's not been an issue.
So you're self-diagnosing that you're okay.
Right.
And what are the criteria for being an alcoholic?
Well, as some of my friends would say, they wake up with night terrors, they can't sleep, they shake, they have to have it, things like that.
So your knowledge about whether you're an alcoholic or not is based on what they say.
I guess so.
The proverbial they. So they say that they have night terrors. They say they have body tremors. They say they have things that I don't have, and they are alcoholics, so by contrast, I know that I'm not.
I don't think I have a problem.
And you say, I don't see the point in drinking if I'm not getting drunk.
Correct.
Okay? You say you drink about 750 milliliters of vodka a day.
If I was drinking that night, then yes.
You can do 10 to 20 shots in 2 hours. You get off work around 11 or 12 at night, and you buy a bottle of vodka and you go home and drink. You get blackout drunk 4 days a week. Not
Blackout drunk. It would be I miss spots of the night or I can't remember certain things I say. It's not completely blackout drunk.
So you're just sort of blacking out drunk. Some nights, total blackout. Some nights, it's just hit and miss.
I guess so.
So your brain turns on and then turns off and turns on and then turns off. So having gone over that history, you drink 300 nights a year, or let's give you some extra. Let's say you turn 75 nights a year.
Okay.
3/4 of that time, it's blackout in whole or part, and you drink a little less than a quart every night that you're drinking. And you think you don't have a problem.
No, I could stop whenever I want.
Yeah. So you don't want to.
I'm not saying I don't want to. I haven't drank for 4 nights.
But you haven't wanted to.
Not in the past, no.
All this time. Okay. And now you say you haven't been drinking for 4 nights because you found out you were pregnant.
Correct.
Okay. Coming up, what are the legal ramifications Victoria might face if she does not stop partying while she's pregnant? Well, we'll talk about that when we come back.
Victoria is awful with authority. Her drinking caused her to lose quite a few jobs.
My mom 100% thinks I'm an alcoholic, but I know I am not one.
What I need to know is how are you going to quit drinking on your own?
Because I have a child.
It's not like I'm addicted to it, Mother.
My biggest fear is that Victoria isn't going to be able to stop drinking, and that even though she's pregnant, she's still going to drink and damage the baby.
Well, Victoria is a self-described, hard-partying college dropout who just found out that she's pregnant. Now, she celebrated the news with about 6 shots of vodka, 2 tequila shots, and 2 beers. That was the night you found out?
No.
Tell me about that.
That was when I thought I might be, but my mother always told me I could never get pregnant. So I never thought I could.
Okay, you thought you might be pregnant.
Possibly.
Possibly. You weren't sure, but you might be pregnant. So you went out and had 6 shots of vodka, 2 of tequila, and a couple of beers. Do you see any flaw in that logic?
I mean, I probably shouldn't drink knowing that I possibly could be pregnant. No.
Why not?
It's not good for the baby.
Well, why? What would happen to the baby?
Come out deformed, something like that.
We got 250 people here in the audience, that none of whom you've ever met before, don't know you, don't have any axe to grind with you, they're not like your mother's friends that we flew in. Based on the history that I've described and what she's agreed to, if you think this girl has a drinking problem, stand up. So they seem to disagree. They think your mother may be right, except this kid right here. And your name is Nick?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to meet Nick later. This is one of your validators here. We're going to meet Nick later in the show. Now, y'all can sit down. One of the people standing up is this gentleman right here. Tell us who you are.
I'm Dr. Reef Kareem.
Okay, now, Dr. Reef, you are part of they. And do you have any particular expertise that would cause you to have some credibility in this issue?
I'm a board-certified addiction medicine specialist and a board-certified psychiatrist, and I deal with people that have alcoholism every day.
Okay, so you're a psychiatrist, you're board-certified addiction specialist. This is your profession, this is what you do. Why would you think that she has a problem with alcoholism and this young man over here in the sweater is perhaps misinformed?
First off, you meet all the criteria. You've developed an incredible amount of tolerance for someone your age and your disposition. Secondly, there's an inability to cut down up until recently, and then when you were pregnant, when you were found pregnant, even the thought that you were pregnant led you to keep drinking. And in this case, you're drinking for 2. And when you drink for 2, you're looking at all sorts of neurodevelopmental problems for your baby, especially if you drink in the first trimester. And that's right now. So if you're drinking at all, even the drink that Dr. Phil mentioned, the drinking episode, the binge drinking that you had right away, that's problems for your baby. All of that leads to the diagnosis of alcohol dependence for you.
Have you had a drink since that night? Have you been 4 days without a drink?
Yep.
Are you telling me the truth?
I'm 100% honest about that.
Yeah. You're telling me the truth?
I've been with her. And I definitely have not touched it. Not since I found out 100% for sure. I wouldn't do that.
This baby could be born with alcohol toxicity.
Absolutely. There's 3 ways you can harm or kill your baby. You can flat out abort your baby, right? Or you can keep drinking and eventually there could be a spontaneous abortion caused by you. And then the third thing is you can have the baby and it can have fetal alcohol syndrome, where it could be mentally retarded because of you and because of selfish drinking. You can also have organ damage in that baby. The heart, you can have brain problems.
Well, that's not the only problem Victoria could face if she does not stop downing hard liquor while she's pregnant. Family law attorney Ariva Martin says she could also be criminally prosecuted for everything from attempted murder to some sort of manslaughter. Ariva, what happens if, because she says, no, she's not going to drink here, and by the way, I don't believe that. I think you have a smug, arrogant attitude, and that causes me to believe that you are a know-it-all and you think you can go do what you want to do, make your own rules, and just quit drinking when I know you can't. It is irresponsible to do what you did, and shame on you for doing it. You don't do that. You don't do that, and I tell you what, a prosecutor would tear your ass up. Ariva, what would happen here?
You know, Dr. Phil, we're talking about both criminal and civil penalties for this kind of conduct. And legally, you could be facing criminal prosecution if you harm that baby. You could lose your rights terminate your parental rights to that child. Listen to what we're saying. Don't end up in jail. Don't ruin your whole life when you have an opportunity to raise a beautiful baby. It's serious stuff.
So what do you think about what's being said here?
I understand exactly what's being said. I know that what I did was wrong. I don't want to continue doing that, and I don't plan to. I do want to change. I don't want to drink. That's the last thing I want to do while I'm pregnant.
You said you want to change, but yet you started this all out by saying, I don't have a problem.
Well, I just got reamed, don't you think?
Yeah.
Me too.
So has that changed your opinion?
Well, I do have a professional sitting right in front of me saying I am one. Can I really argue with that?
You can, and your brain will try to make you do that. Because you know what I wish you would say? I'll tell you what I wish you would say. I wish you would say, wow, you know what? This is a harsh and uncomfortable wake-up call, but it sure puts things into focus for me. But if I'm a high-risk candidate, I am willing to subject myself to whatever help, monitoring, scrutiny, or whatever to ensure that I protect myself and my baby.
That's all I want to do is protect my baby.
Well, to do that, you have to treat yourself better. To do that, you have to stop drinking yourself into oblivion 4 nights a week. And that is terribly unhealthy. And if we take away the alcohol that I think you're medicating yourself with, and we don't put something back in its place, your anxiety and depression and upset is going to come bubbling back up, because I think you're anesthetizing yourself with alcohol every time. You think you do it to party. I think you do it to numb the pain. I don't want to punish you. I want to help you. If we're going to take the alcohol away, and you must take the alcohol away, then you've got to come to grips with whatever it is that's causing you to rely on it so heavily. And I am prepared to offer you that help. I will get you help in your community as our gift to you to put in place of the alcohol that you must eliminate from your life. Will you take that help?
Yeah, I'll take that help.
Because we will make that help available to you, okay? I want Victoria to keep listening, because coming up, he got kicked out of the dorms for drinking. Now this 20-year-old has been hospitalized 11 times this year for alcohol poisoning. We saw him sitting down earlier. It's Nick. He's one of the ones that said, oh, no, she's not an alcoholic. She says she can quit. She can quit. He says he doesn't have a problem either. We'll talk to him when we come back.
On average, I'll drink a half a liter to a liter of hard alcohol, 5 to 7 days a week. I don't like the taste. I wouldn't drink it if it didn't get me drunk.
He's gone into the hospital for blood poisoning 11 times.
Well, Kathy says her son Nick started partying heavily during his freshman year of college. Now, Nick admits that he drinks every day, and he goes on binges with vodka, rum, and whiskey. Take a look.
My 20-year-old son, Nick, started drinking heavily his freshman year in college. He's gone into the hospital for blood poisoning. Last year it was about 6 times, and this year it was about 11 times.
On average, I'll drink a half a liter to a liter of hard alcohol, 5 to 7 days a week. Some of the crazy things I've done when I'm really drunk is peed my pants. I blacked out several times.
Spitting on the floor, throwing up, peeing in a sink.
On one occasion, I pulled down my pants and took a poop on the bedroom floor. My drink of choice right now is rum, because it's on sale. I don't like the taste. I wouldn't drink it if it didn't get me drunk.
When Nick is away at school, he'll call me up saying he doesn't have any money for food, so I put money in his account.
My mom has talked to me about my alcohol use, but the truth of the matter is she will buy me alcohol.
In October of 2011, Nick went to the hospital again for blood alcohol poisoning. He blew a .5.
I have been hospitalized. They say my drinking's leading to pancreatitis. It causes me to vomit constantly. They say that if I keep up drinking like this, that things are just going to keep going downhill.
In 2011, Nick has been to detox 3 times.
I do believe I have a handle on my drinking.
He needs to stop drinking. I just can't do it anymore.
So you have a handle on your drinking?
Yeah, if I choose to not drink, I won't drink. It's not like, if I don't have money, I won't drink. I mean, if there's nothing to do, I won't drink. So I feel like if I want to stop at any time, I can. As long as I stay busy, I don't need a drink.
Do I look like I'm buying this?
No, not really.
Seriously, come on. And you know, part of the thing here is I understand that your brain isn't working right because it is toxic with alcohol. I get that, and so it's really kind of unfair to try to reason with you because you don't know what you don't know. Because what I want to do is grab you and shake you till your damn teeth rattle. And then I want to start trying to reason with you, but you really don't get it, do you? You've been to the hospital 11 times.
See, I don't think that's true. I think it's more like, probably like 4 times, 5 times this year.
How old are you?
20.
What state do you live in?
Minnesota.
And what's the drinking age there?
21.
So you're not even old enough to drink, and you've been to the hospital, according to you, 5 times for alcohol poisoning. And you say you don't have a problem? Even through the haze of your alcohol-altered brain, that can't look like it adds up. Does that add up to you that this is not insanity?
It's still, the point is I can still stop at any time.
You can't stop. You can't do squat. What you can do is sit around and drink and your pants. That's what you can do. That's what you do, right?
I mean, if the opportunity is there, yeah, but if the opportunity isn't given to me, then I can't.
Okay, I totally agree. If I parachuted you into the Antarctic where there was no alcohol, you would be cured. I totally agree if the opportunity didn't present itself, but it does present itself, does it not? So I want to introduce Dr. Jorge Rodriguez. He's a gastroenterologist, he's an internist, and he says the chances are that Nick already has some sort of brain and liver damage from all of your binge drinking. Dr. Rodriguez, come on up, will you?
Thanks.
Come over here with me. Show us what we have here,
Well,
Doctor.
first of all, look at the 2 brains. One is much smaller than the other. Guess which one is the alcoholic's brain? Not the normal size one, the little one. So CAT scans are done of people that are alcoholics as they get older. All the time, their brain is smaller.
All right, well, show us what we're looking at here.
So here's a brain, all right, that's been cut in half. But look at this brain. This one, as opposed to this one, already has a hole in it.
So this brain is smaller. It has holes in it.
Absolutely.
And it is basically like a muscle atrophying. This brain is shrinking up.
Absolutely. Every
Which is
day,
why I
every
said
drink.
it's kind of unfair for me to try to debate with you because your brain is shrinking up, and it isn't even through growing yet. Seriously, your brain grows until you're 25. And when you do this to your brain during the developmental stages, then it doesn't get the growth that it needs. Okay, go ahead. Let's take a look at the liver here.
Next, the liver. All right? The liver gets irritated. Alcohol sedates and irritates. It sedates your brain. It irritates your liver every single time. All right, a normal liver, if you look at it, looks kind of pinkish. All right? Kind of gross, huh? I can tell you're almost about to pass out. Good. All right, this one is a cirrhotic liver. If you were to feel it, this one's much softer. This one feels like scar tissue.
So this is an alcoholic liver.
Correct.
And that is very likely what binge drinking is doing to his liver at this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
What do you think about this? Any comment?
I don't know. It's pretty straightforward, I guess. I mean, it's killing me, but I still feel like I have a hold on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Because that's your brain. And you're impaired. I don't know what your excuse is. I don't get why you have been so passive in all of this. Nick says his mom, Kathy, actually buys him beer when she's in a good mood, buys him the poison that is killing him. Well, I'm going to see how good a mood she is when I have a few questions for her when we come back.
Typical day for me, I'll normally start drinking within a few hours of waking up. I'll take a shot about every 15 minutes.
It's Nick out of control on alcohol.
We're talking about binge drinking, and we're talking with Kathy, who's the mother of Nick. Now, Nick's not drinking age yet, but he's been to the hospital 11 times in 1 year, 7 times the year before, for alcohol poisoning. Now, one of the things Areva Martin, our guest here today, legal expert, says is that there can be both criminal and civil liability, of course, for the drinker who goes out and kills someone, but there can also be both civil and, in some states, criminal liability for a parent of a minor who allows and enables this to occur. True?
Absolutely, Dr. Phil. There's a concept in the law called vicarious liability, and basically it means you're responsible for the acts of another, and particularly a minor. We heard Nick say that you buy him alcohol. So you're enabling, you're creating the situation, you're helping a situation that could cause him to do bodily harm to someone else.
So we're just going to do a role play here, okay?
Sure.
We're going to assume that your son has in fact gone out and killed someone. Okay? We're gonna role play that, okay?
Okay.
And so, pardon me?
I have to step back when he says that I buy him alcohol. I give him money, and there might be...
Yeah, we're going to give you a chance to answer all those questions and some more.
Okay.
You're going to get to say anything you want to say, all right? You're going to get to defend yourself, and in fact, you're going to need to.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, as an officer of the court, why don't you swear her in for this role play here?
Raise your right hand, and you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you're ready.
Okay, now you're the mother of Nick, correct?
That is correct.
And your son began drinking at age 14, is that right?
That is correct.
And you knew that, correct?
I didn't know at that age.
What age did you find out?
I knew it at about 16.
Okay, and when he started drinking at 16, you knew he was breaking the law, correct?
Correct.
And what did you do?
Well, I tried to ground him.
Were you aware that your son was a falling down, completely disabled alcoholic?
Not until the last couple years.
Okay, but you're aware of it now, right?
I sure am.
You know it now.
Yes, I do.
But yet he continues to drink, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, in fact, when I say that he is an alcoholic, he's so much that he urinates on himself regularly, right? He loses control of his body. He's so incapacitated, right?
Yes.
You knew that at one point he blew a blood alcohol level of 5.05. Is that correct?
Correct.
And he's been to the hospital 17 or 18 times for alcohol poisoning. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You knew how impaired he was, true?
That is correct.
You knew how regularly he drank.
Correct.
You knew that he lost control of his body and his faculties.
Correct.
But yet you continued to allow him to do what he was doing as a minor in violation of the law and go out into the world and put others at risk.
That is not correct.
Did you ever do anything to stop him? What did you do? Tell us what you did.
I've called the police 3 times this year. I've tried to get records from the police. I've tried to do everything I can with every time he goes into the hospital, ask them if they'll please commit him.
Have you taken control of this minor who is your responsibility?
I can't control him.
Okay. When he stole beer from someone's garage, did you punish him?
He was not living with me at that time.
Did you punish him? You knew he did
yes.
it. Did you punish him? What did he do?
When he came home, I grounded him.
When he stole your car and wrecked it, you didn't punish him, did you?
I grounded him.
He stole your car. That's a felony, and you grounded him. How long did you ground him? Be honest.
A week.
Felony auto theft, and you grounded him for a week. And he wrecked your car, correct?
Yes.
And then he wrecked his car, correct? He wrecked his car, then he stole your car and wrecked it. So he's wrecked 2 cars under the influence, correct?
Correct.
And did you punish him?
Yes.
Yeah. You grounded him for a week? Did you do anything when he stole your wedding ring and sold it so he could get money for alcohol? He's had 5 tickets for minor in possession, correct?
Yes.
Who paid them?
I did.
He gets the tickets, and you pay the price.
Yes,
You say you can't kick him out because you don't want to see him on the street.
that's right.
Do you want to see him in jail?
No, I want to see him get help. And that's why I'm here. Because I don't know where else to go.
Do you understand that if he goes out and kills somebody and you answer these questions, which says it was completely and totally foreseeable? You knew he drank, you knew how much he drank, you knew how much it impaired him, and you knew he operated motor vehicles and had wrecked them on 2 different occasions. How do you think that's going to look in court?
Not good.
He's going to wind up in jail, and you're going to wind up getting civilly sued and forced into bankruptcy because you're continuing to allow that young man to kill himself. Wouldn't you rather him at least be off the streets and sober in jail than risking his and other people's lives on the street? Because you know he's going to drink himself to death.
I want him in a treatment facility. Jail's not going to do anything for him. He needs to be in a treatment facility.
He doesn't want to go to treatment. He doesn't have a problem. Does she have options?
She has lots of options.
Okay, and you are a lawyer?
I am a lawyer. Although you're pretty good too, Dr.
And
Bill.
you went to law school where?
I went to Harvard Law School, and I've been doing this a long time, and I'm here a lot, and I see this a lot.
So you have a Harvard lawyer here telling you do have options. Okay. Do you want to know what they are?
Yes.
Do you want to do what you need to do to get him help?
Yes.
All right. I got a question for Nick, and I want to show him where I think he's headed if he doesn't kill himself when we come back. Well, Nick admits to boozing it up and partying on a daily basis. Now, you say you would rather him go to treatment than jail. Have you ever really thought you were going to wind up in jail?
No, I never really thought I would.
Come with me. I want to show you something. Kathy, you come as well. Step in. Look around. Every day, all day, that's what you got. This is exactly, precisely to scale. This is the cell you would be in. Step up, take a look. That's your son's future. He's got 3 choices here. He can die, he can go to jail,
Treatment.
or he can get well. Those are 3 choices. That's all there are. There's just those 3.
Right.
And one of the 3 is going to come to fruition pretty soon, I'm guessing. What do you think about this?
Doesn't seem too fun.
No TV, no video games, there's no music. You just did something that you really don't have much option to do in the future. Y'all come back down here. You know, we started the top of the show with a tape piece about kids drinking, and we talked about Philip, your son, your brother, that lost his life. Anything y'all want to say to Nick?
I wouldn't know where to start. If you knew what kind of pain that we go through every day of our life, you wouldn't do it to her, buddy. You would not do that to your mother. You got a big break to even have a chance to be on this show. I suggest that you at least try.
We're going to have more with Philip's family and Nick and Kathy when we come back.
My son Philip was on spring break.
Philip died from alcohol, cocaine, and Oxycontin.
When I saw Philip's body for the first time was reality. You can't deny that's his body laying on that bed, cold.
It's inconceivable to me that 15 of his fraternity brothers would let him lay down and die.
Well, Philip died on spring break. He was surrounded by his frat buddies. Actually, 15 of them were with him. He was drinking heavily. He was doing drugs. And there was a good news, bad news thing here. This wasn't his pattern, which means he wasn't very good at it. His parents, Paul and Lynn, not only blamed the fraternity brothers, but also themselves for what happened to their son. Tell me what have y'all come to in your thinking and feeling about this since it happened? I know you've turned it over your mind a million times. Palmer, I know you have. What have you come to about this?
It was an unnecessary death. He could still be alive if they had just watched him.
You guys do blame the fraternity some, the fraternity brothers some. Tell me about that.
I do. They were with him. They knew what he was doing. They could have stopped him. They could have watched him.
Well, you know, we received a statement from Sigma Alpha Epsilon, and I'm going to read part of the statement now, and I'll put the whole thing on the website so you can read it. But in part, the statement says, Sigma Alpha Epsilon offers its thoughts and prayers to Christians, family, and friends. In addition, staff members and alumni volunteers will work to provide counseling and support for chapter members as necessary. Well, Tom Kane is the president of College Safety Zone. He says that fraternities and sororities need to be regulated because students' lives are in danger. Tom is joining us via Polycom. Tom, thank you so much for being here today. You're all over this fraternity issue. Tell me where the rubber meets the road here.
Well, here's the thing, Dr. Phil. These fraternities need to be held accountable.
Do they monitor this? Because we know, look, I went to college and the fraternities were, I mean, it was just a big drunk out every weekend. That's what they did. And nobody seemed to police that in any way. Is that still the case?
That is still the case. And I don't know with a particular state or a particular college, but I will tell you, you know, you've heard the stories, Dr. Phil, where a student passes out or dies and they go on probation and they have perhaps something revoked for a period of time.
Well, what's the answer? What do parents do about this? Because kids are going off to college every year. They're rushing to, fraternities and sororities. What do parents do? How do they know that they're going to send their child to college and get them back alive?
Listen, I have a daughter in college right now, Dr. Phil. She's a freshman. And I've tried to do everything I can possibly do. But high schools need to take a proactive role. Parents need to take a proactive role. But I will tell you this, Dr. Phil, I put a lot of the responsibility on the colleges, on the administrators, on the campus police department. They are falling way short about educating these students. And they're not teaching these students what they can be in for on a college campus. And that's where the colleges themselves are failing the students.
Well, Tom, I agree with you, and I thank you for weighing in on this today. We've got to take a break. I have one last thing to say to Nick when we come back. Well, I would like to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to family law attorney Ariva Martin. Thank you so much for weighing in on this. A special thanks to gastroenterologist and internist Jorge Rodriguez. Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. And director for the Control Center for Addictions in Beverly Hills, Dr. Reef. Y'all do great work. Thank you for being here. And to the president of College Safety Zone, Tom Kane. And I'm going to put links up to everyone that's been on the show today. So if you want to talk to Dr. Reef, you want to talk to Dr. Rodriguez, we're going to have links there where you can reach them. You can get a copy of Tom's book, How to Protect Yourself in College, in bookstores today. Nick, what do you think? You got a drinking problem or you don't?
I guess I do, but I don't want to have one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to think I have one, at least.
Well, you do. And, you know, Mom, I can tell you he's killing himself. And, Nick, you need treatment for this. You need serious inpatient alcohol rehabilitation. You need to be properly detoxified, and then you need to go through a rehabilitation process to learn what you don't know about this disease that you have. I'm going to make you an offer to put you into an inpatient rehabilitation program immediately if you are willing to do it.
All right.
Give yourself a chance. Will you do this?
Sure.
I'm going to send you to the Origins Recovery Center. It is top notch. The only thing wrong with it is it's almost too nice. It's on an island. It's in the ocean. It's a wonderful place. But they're going to give you what you need, and quite frankly, Nick, they're going to give you what you deserve. They're going to give you a second chance, young man. Thanks for being here. So long.
Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive,